Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Cutting Through It. My name is Sherry Brody, and today I want to talk about how do we get those clients to come back? I mean, how do you build that loyalty in your clients? Sometimes that's really difficult, especially if you are a person that tends to be an introvert. I know for myself, probably a lot of people that meet me in the salon would probably say that I was an extrovert. But honestly, I'm really not. I've been doing this for so long and I'm so comfortable behind the chair and I'm so comfortable like communicating with my clients that to them, I seem like an extrovert. But if you put me in a room with a bunch of people I don't know, like for instance, my husband, his work will have gatherings with everybody from his work and I don't know them. And I always get this anxiety, before I go, because I know I have to talk to people that I don't know. And it's the communication part that kind of, intimidates me. And it's so silly because behind the chair, I'm a pro at it. And recently I just got back from a vacation and I hung out with people I didn't know and it ended up being a great experience. But I know I was thinking about you as a hairstylist. How do you, deal with those clients that come in and they don't really talk? How do you get them to talk? How do you connect with them? How do you get them to look at you as the leader and just really open up to you so that you're able to give them what they want? But most importantly, get them to want to come back to you and refer you. So today's conversation is going to be good for you. If you are that hairstylist that struggles a little bit with your communication skills, today's going to be a good one. So let's get into the episode. Hey there, and welcome to Cutting Through It. I'm Sherry Brody, and after more than 40 years working behind the chair, rebuilding my business multiple times, making plenty of mistakes, and learning some hard lessons along the way, I've discovered what really works when it comes to building a successful business working behind the chair. That's what this podcast is all about. This is where I share those lessons with you. All my stories, my successes, my failures, and the things, most of all, that I wish someone had taught me when I was starting out. My hope is that what I've learned can help you avoid some of the struggles I faced, build your business a little faster, and create a career behind the chair that you truly love. So if you're ready to learn from my successes, my mistakes, and everything in between, you're in the right place, my friend. Let's dive in. Hey, did you know that I have had to rebuild my business at least 4 times in my career? The most recent time that I had to rebuild was in 2014. I relocated after 27 years. I was moving to a completely different state. But you know what, guys? I wasn't scared at all about rebuilding my business. In fact, I was excited about it. The most scary thing was just restarting my life all over again. If you are a hairstylist that is like trying to figure it out behind the chair, maybe you are an independent stylist or you've opened a salon suite and you are feeling the frustration and you are starting to realize, I need help running my business. I need to understand how to get those clients in my chair. How do I make a consistent income? How do I market myself? There's so much to it. And if that is something that you are struggling with right now, I want to invite you to a workshop I've been working on called Behind the Chair Business Workshop. I've been building it with you in mind because I know firsthand all the struggles, all the pieces that you have to have in place to build a solid business working behind the chair. And I know the struggles that you have to face, but I also know how to really put systems in place and make it easy for you. If that interests you, go head over to my website, onpointhair.com, and get on the wait list today. Do you know what the number one reason clients will come back to you? It's because they feel connected to you. Clients are just people, just like you and me. We all want to feel seen, we want to feel heard, and we want to feel valued. And when a client sits in your chair, if they feel these things, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back to you and they're going to refer you. Just last week, I had a client come in. I had done her one time before and I was kind of on the fence on like, oh, is she a fit for me? But something about her, I just decided I was going to give her, I wanted to do her again because the first time she came in, I just had a harder time connecting with her. And so this visit that she came in this time around, I wanted to share it with you because even though I've been doing this for so long, I still have those times where I'll have a client or a situation that still challenges me. And this one challenged me. She was somebody that came in and the first thing I noticed about her was she didn't make a lot of eye contact with me. Her body language gave me the impression that she was very protective of herself. And so I guess when I say that, like if you ever met somebody that you can tell they've weathered a lot of storms in life, like maybe they've been beat down a bit, they've lost a bit of confidence. That's kind of what she portrayed to me. And I think that's why I worked so hard to connect with her. And I just felt in my heart like I really wanted to connect with her. And when she came in this time, I had cut her before. And when she came in before, I did all the things for the consultation to figure out what she wanted. And it took a lot of prying. In fact, guys, if you are somebody that really wants to get more in detail about the consultation skills, I've done some really good episodes on these. Episode 3, episode 16, and episode 27. Those would be really good for you to check out after you've listened to this episode, just to give you more knowledge and more inspiration from my experiences behind the chair to help you be able to really, really create that client experience. And it all starts with the consultation. So anyway, so that first visit that I did her, I felt like I gave her exactly what she wanted. When she left, I did feel a connection, but it wasn't like really strong. I was still on the fence and I think she was too. But she followed up. We rebooked her again because I always rebook my clients. I always have them reschedule their next appointment. Honestly, if I really didn't want to, I won't ask or recommend it. But anyways, so she comes back in and she had that same body language. And this time she came armed with a picture of herself. And this picture, when I looked at it, I mean, she was probably 20 or 30 years younger, to be honest with you. And her hair, if you've been doing hair at all for a while, hair changes. So she shows me this picture, and as she was showing it to me, she wasn't looking me in the eye and she just kept talking and talking. So I could feel that either she was embarrassed of the picture or she just, I don't know what it was, but I put my hand on her shoulder because something just said to me, like, this consultation is going to go on forever if I keep letting her talk. So I put my hand on her shoulder and I pulled up my chair and I got eye level with her and I said, okay, let's stop right there. Let me just tell you a few things of what I'm hearing you say. And I repeated back to her what she had said. And I looked at the picture and I said, this is completely different than what you had described and the pictures that we were looking at this last visit. And so what I said to her, what we need to do, and I explained to her what we needed to do. And then I explained to her about her texture and how it could change. And I went through the whole thing. Then I pulled up pictures on my Pinterest, which I have like different boards of different links, different cuts. And I pulled it up and shared with her a realistic version of what she could have and what we could do with it. And then I explained to her, what the styling would be. And I referred back to our conversation the last visit. I remembered that she had said she didn't like to use a ton of product and she was really stuck on this one type of product. She wasn't open at the time. And I said, if you really want this, I can cut this for you. But if you're not willing to use the products I'm recommending, it's not going to work. You're going to struggle. And I got her to look at me and I could just tell as we were talking, she was really in tune to what I was saying and something shifted in her. And she was like, I trust you. I completely trust you and let's do it. I get it. And I will make sure I get the products that you want me to use. And so I did. I did the haircut, and throughout the service, I asked her questions and I got her to communicate and open up to me a little bit. And I got to know her a little bit and understand where she was coming from. And at the end of the service, she ended up booking for a highlight for another day, and she wanted to pre-book her next 2 or 3 appointments because she wanted to make sure that she would always be able to get in to see me. And then I was on vacation like a couple weeks later. Actually, I think it was about a month ago now that I think about it, that she came in. Time goes by so fast. I was visiting my daughter, and she had texted me and said she wanted to come in for a bang trim, because I offer that. I always offer my clients that complimentary service. And so I got her back in, and boy, she was like a completely different person when she came in for that bang trim. She was chatting it up with me and totally different. And I'm really glad that I saved her as a client and I got her to open up. And I share that story with you because communication is just more than just words. And we as hairstylists, sometimes we're so caught up in our head when a client comes in, thinking about, maybe you're a new hairstylist and you're new at cutting, or you're new at coloring, and this client's coming in and you're nervous about doing her hair. And so sometimes we're so caught up in our own head that we're not fully present with our clients when they're in the chair. And so I want to encourage you that when you are communicating with your clients and when you're doing that consultation, to be fully present. Make it fully about them. Because in reality, it is. When we are up in our head and all worried about how we look and how we're going to do, we can't be fully present and really make that client feel valued and heard. So in today's conversation, I want to share with you some conversation tips for you to be able to, win those clients over, just like I did. Because once you learn and get comfortable with these things I'm going to share with you today, then it just becomes super easy. So the first one is look at their body language. When you're first approaching a client, especially when they're new, of course, but even if it's a regular client, when we walk up to a client or we watch them walk to us, pay attention to their body language. Is their shoulder slumped? Are they looking at the ground? Are they fidgety? You can tell a person's energy just by looking at their body language. And that really helps you as a hairstylist to be more present with them. Like in this situation with this client, I could just tell from the get-go that I needed to make sure I was fully present with this person and that I did everything that I could to make her feel comfortable. And for me, it was sitting eye level with her and really making eye contact with her. And when she wasn't making eye contact with me, when I needed her to look up at me, I would just kind of lightly touch her knee or hold my phone lower and kind of bring my phone up just a little bit to make her kind of look up, just to get her to open up a little bit more and make her feel comfortable. So body language is really important because especially if they're asking for something new, like especially a regular client. I know in one of my past episodes, I shared with you a story about a client. I ended up losing her on this visit because this client was one that I really liked. We have those clients that we just click with and we look forward to seeing them, which is, as a business owner, you really want to make sure that most of your clients are those clients, right? But this one, she always let me do, fun things with her hair, but we had never gone really short. And one time she came in and asked me for a short haircut. And I was so excited about doing the haircut that I didn't pay attention to her body language. And at the end of the service, even though I nailed it and gave her exactly what she wanted and it looked fantastic on her, she burst out in tears. And I ended up finding out the reason she was crying was because she wanted the haircut short because her husband had just let her know he wanted to end their marriage the night before and he never wanted her to cut her hair. And she was rebelling. And I ended up losing her even though she really liked the haircut. It wasn't right for her. She wasn't in the right mindset. And had I paid more attention to her body language, that would never have happened. So the next one is when you are asking questions, ask open-ended questions. Don't ask yes and no questions. Ask questions that are going to guide them. Like in this particular instance, when I looked at the picture she showed, I said, so tell me why you brought this picture to me. What was it you liked about it? Did you find it easy to style? or that's a yes or no question, but I got her just to open up about it. Like, did you live here? Because sometimes a different state, like I go to California, my hair's curly, and I hang out in La Jolla by the coast, my hair's curly the whole time. So, I asked her questions just to get her to open up more about it. And maybe it's somebody, like this gal that I just shared with you that I ended up losing. I could have said, so tell me why you want to do this. I think it would look great on you, but tell me why. Like what brings you to this decision? And, we've got to be sure about that. So that's my next tip for you, is to ask open-ended questions and get them to open up to you. And by the way, guys, if you do struggle with these conversations, I created a free guide. It's called 25 Conversation Starters. You can head to my website, onpointhairbySherry, SHERRI.com. And just download it today. Like as soon as you click on my website, you'll see it right there. Just click it, and that guide I created just for you to have. So when you end up in situations like I had with clients that are harder to open up, or just even maybe you're just learning how to communicate. We are in a society that we text all the time, we're dealing with social media and we're DMing all the time, but our business requires us to be able to communicate face to face. And I understand that a lot of you, it's not a comfortable thing. So that's why I created this free guide, 25 Conversation Starters. Super simple, but it's my hope that it will help you kind of get out of your shell and help you get those conversations started so you can start connecting with your clients. And again, it's at my website, onpointhairbySherry, SHERRI.com. You can download it there. Okay, the third thing is to always repeat back to your client what they said, and reflect to them by showing them a picture. So for instance, you might say, okay, so what I hear you saying is you want your hair this length. You're wanting fullness here, or you're wanting highlights here, or you're wanting color here, whatever it is. You just want to repeat back to them what they said. And then you want to pull up pictures and share with them what your version of it is. And I'm going to encourage you here, like if this is a color consultation and you're doing a color, I'm going to encourage you. I worked for Wella for years as an educator, and we just always recommended to not ever bring out the swatch book to your clients. I know that a lot of you do that, and I'm not telling you it's wrong, but what I want to tell you is that we can look at those color swatches and we know what we need to do on their canvas of hair to get something to that color. But when your clients are looking at swatches in a book, they're thinking it's going to be exactly that, when it's not always going to be exactly that. So if you pull up a picture on your, a Pinterest board, a picture, and say, is this the red you're wanting? Is this the blonde you're wanting? Is this the link? Is this the style? Is this, it's pictures are worth so much. And you'll really be surprised when you do these kind of things. Like they just start to lighten up because they start to figure out that you get them. And maybe you're not getting them. So then, they're saying, no, that's not it. Okay. Am I close? And you start working together to try and figure it out. And then after that, you want to explain to them a solution. So then once you come to this point, you're going to reflect back to them what they said. Reflect back, repeat back what you guys just communicated, and say, all right, because you want this, because your texture is like this, because you have this much time you're willing to put into your hair, and because you're going to willing or not willing to use product, this is what I really feel we should do with your hair. And then you're going to guide them into what you're going to be doing. And this, guys, makes you the leader. This gives you the respect that you want and the comfort that you want with your client. This gives the connection with your client. It makes them see you as the pro. And I always like to say, every client that sits in your chair, they're on a hair journey and you are the leader of their journey. So this is by connecting with them through learning how to, create these conversations with them, you're connecting with them. And this in turn makes your clients feel seen. They feel heard by you and they feel so valuable. And this is not just for a new client. If you have returning clients coming to you for years, you can't stop doing these things because clients no matter how long you've been doing their hair, they want to still feel seen and heard and valued. And if they start feeling taken for granted or that they're not as important, they're just going to quietly kind of leave. They're not going to tell you. So I hope that these 3 tips help you. First, make sure you're looking at their body language. Pay attention to that. Second, ask seeking and open-ended questions. Get them to open up. And third, make sure you're repeating back and you're showing them, reflecting to them through pictures and of what they're saying, so that when you come to the conclusion, you guide them into the style that you're going to give them, that you're both on the same page and that they feel like they trust you. And that's what's going to bring them back to you their next visit. And also, just like my client, it can lead into an upsell. Like that client that I was speaking about in my story, she ended up rebooking for highlights. And then she ended up wanting and asking me, I want to book my next 2 to 3 clients. And you know what else, you guys, when they feel connected with you and they feel all these things, they're going to be so apt to refer you. And most importantly, they're going to give you those 5-star reviews, because let's face it, today's client, that's what they're looking for. They want to see those reviews. So that is it for today. I also want to remind you, if you've listened this far, I just want to remind you about the workshop I've been working on. I am so excited about it. I have wanted to do this for some time. I am sharing all the systems that you can put into place today to start building that loyal clientele. And this is all about putting the business systems that you need in place so that your business is sustainable. And second of all, how to market to get those clients in quickly, how to get them to come back and to give you those 5-star reviews, and how to continue to grow and to have those clients continue to refer you. Because today, when I talk about how I rebuilt my business in 2014, I haven't had to market myself in probably 5 to 6 years, and I get referrals all the time. I get new clients all the time requesting me, because I have the reviews and I have the systems in place that are doing the work for me now. And if that is something that you're interested in, be sure to go to my website and get on the wait list, the Behind the Chair Business Building Workshop. Thanks for listening today. I really hope it blessed you, and I will see you in the next episode. I hope this episode encouraged you today and reminded you that you're not alone behind the chair. And if it helped you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another hairstylist who may need encouragement too. And remember, success behind the chair is built one client, one conversation, and one day at a time. I'll see you guys in the next episode.